Hi folks, it's Welly speaking. Welcome to video number 5. In this video, we are going to check out the third scenario, which illustrates what happens when the database in region A goes down. Let's revisit SQL database failover group again. As you can see, there are two options of performing manual failover either on the Azure portal or REST API. The first one is simply called as failover. This is generally used in drill or planned failover. It ensures that the full sync between databases are performed before the failover takes place. It makes sure that no data loss. However, it may take longer time to complete. So use this option when you prioritize data loss versus recovery time. The second type of failover is called forced failover. This is where you want to immediately switch from primary to secondary. It will ignore the data consistency between two databases. As such, it may incur some data loss. So use this option when you prioritize recovery time over the data loss. What about exercising an automatic failover? Well, at the moment, SQL Azure database won't allow you to simulate the automatic failover because this will be able to initiate by the backend SQL database service team in the events of severity A level A. However, you can design a solution which automatically trigger the manual failover. I will discuss more in the next video of how we come up with a solution. Let's look at the scenario now. The actual scenario when the database A is down. For this demo, we will trigger the failover manually by going to the Azure portal. So what happens is if the database A suddenly goes down, we will hit a manual failover of the database, and what it does, it will then route the traffic to the secondary database and make the secondary database as read and write. Why don't we check this out in real action, how it looks like. Now to do that, I will go to the Azure portal. As you can see that I have a failover group successfully set up. Now the primary is pointing to Southeast Asia. The secondary is pointing to East US. Before we initiate the request, we try to make a simple call with Postman again to see whether that has been successfully accessed. All right, there you go. As you can see that, Southeast Asia and returning the database also from Southeast Asia. So I'm getting ready my JMeter again. And what I'm going to do is perform a hit and then later on stop or perform a failover of the database, and let's check out how long does it take for it to recover. So I'm going to hit send now. As you can see that first couple of requests successful. So I'm going to hit the failover button here, and it asks you that are you really sure you want to route the traffic to secondary, which will become primary, and I'm going to select yes. As you can see that failing over in progress. If I move to the JMeter, I would imagine there could be some downtimes during the failover. But let's check it out in action. So if I randomly pick one of them, you see that this was the previous request, which still route the traffic into Southeast Asia database. So if I scrolling down, you realize that I have one downtime here. All right. Let's check out. What about this? There you go. You now realize that my database has successfully failed back to East US. Failover had happened successfully. So I can verify that by going to the Azure portal. As you can see that now, the East US become primary and the Southeast Asia become secondary, and I don't have to change anything on my application at all. So this is how easy you can perform a failover on your database. Um, that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.